Hey, what's up, y'all? This is a Pathways training from the Public Allies National Office on how to use your Ed Award. I'm going to go over our learning objectives quick. This training is specifically for currently serving allies, for all of you in the program right now, to help you understand the Ed Award, how it's taxed, and implications on using it, to help allies use nationalservice.gov for detailed guidance on using your Ed Awards. And also to help you all use myAmeriCorps.gov for student loan forbearance, interest forgiveness, and your Ed Award payments. And then lastly, to help all of the current allies understand the Ed Award Match Program and how it can increase the value of your Ed Award. All right, so first, my name is Javier Alanis. I am the Training Manager and National Site Consultant at Public Allies National Office. I'm giving this training because I have a lot of experience with national service. I've done almost 10 years, including more than 4 in service, 2 AmeriCorps terms and 2.5 in the Peace Corps, as well as working here in my current role at Public Allies National Office for almost 5 years. And I was able to use my Ed Awards to pay off my final student loans this past October. And the Ed Awards were essential to me being able to do that. So really this training is based on my own personal experience as an AmeriCorps alum, as well as from within my role here at Public Allies. Okay, so first things first, let's talk a little bit about kind of the basics around the Ed Award. An Ed Award is earned by completing a term of AmeriCorps National Service. It can be used to pay your current educational expenses at eligible schools or to repay qualified student loans. One really important thing to know is the time boundary on your Ed Award. You got to use it or lose it. It's only 7 years from the end of service, so don't delay too long. A few things about the little asterisks on there. The current educational expenses, educational expenses do not include certain things like fines for missing library books or meals. And in terms of the eligible schools, it's always important to do a little bit of research to make sure the school in question is what they call a Title IV school. It receives Title IV funding. That's most schools, but certain private institutions are not eligible. And then finally, where it says repay qualified student loans, remember that some loans do not qualify. Most post-secondary loans that are backed by the federal government do, as well as those from state agencies and state colleges are also considered qualified, and that all includes subsidized and unsubsidized loans. I don't have all of those details for you. It really depends on your specific circumstances, but we'll go into where to go to find out more about the details coming up next. So first, still in the basics of Ed Award, how much do you get? What is your Ed Award going to be at the end of your service? It depends on the year you serve because the Ed Award is equal to the max value of the Pell Grant during your service year. And Pell Grants are federal dollars that are awarded to undergrad based on financial need. So just as an example, during the 2018-19, AmeriCorps members who served during 2018-19 in full-time programs will receive $6,095 for their Ed Award. So as you're navigating all of the systems of Public Allies and AmeriCorps, it's important to know that the same kind of thing will continue as you're managing your Ed Award. There are 2 main systems that we kind of are going to think about here. The National Service Trust is where your Ed Award is based and what pays out to your school and or loan holders. And so each of these different institutions, and in some instances you may have multiple loan holders, as I did, there may be extra circles and extra systems you got to navigate through. But it's really important to know that to gain the maximum benefits, that you have to take that active role in making the systems work for you. Only you are going to be able to bring them together to pay for your current Ed expenses or loans. It's not going to happen on its own. I know that during my time using my Ed Award, I ended up on a first name basis with Michelle at the bursar's office at University of Wisconsin, Stevens Point. We spoke a lot to make sure that all of the things that needed to happen for them to link up with the National Service Trust and the payments and all my paperwork was squared away. So just be aware of that. It's going to take some work. It's not as easy as like Cash App or Venmo or something like that. It would be nice if it was, but it's not. You got to do some work. Okay, so let's go into a little bit of detail around the Ed Awards. Each situation is unique due to the different schools or loans, as we were talking about. And so it's really important for you to research your specifics. The good thing is that there are a lot of detailed information at nationalservice.gov. We'll go there in a second so you can see what it looks like. A separate system, MyAmeriCorps.gov, is also known as the MyAmeriCorps portal. That's where you're going to manage your Ed Award and make the payment request to the National Service Trust. None of this is managed by Public Allies, so don't call me. Well, I'd love to talk to you and connect with you. Just in general, around the Ed Awards, there's not much we're going to be able to do. So these are the places to go. Let's take a look at them. So first, nationalservice.gov. That's going to take you to their general page. As an AmeriCorps member, you're going to click there, scroll down a little bit, and there's other ways to find it as well, but you can see they're actually the MyAmeriCorps portal that we're going to visit next is here, as well as information on the Siegel AmeriCorps Ed Award. Once you get here, you can see the general information and then specific guidance on using your award details. You can refer institutions to this page as needed, as well as some of the things I'm going to cover in general, like tax implications and the Ed Award matching program are covered here as well. So the next thing we're looking at is myamericorps.gov. I'm not going to click directly on that. I'm just going to go into the pertinent page. And this is my own. I still have access to it, even though my Ed Award's all paid out. So you can see all of the different education Ed Award requests, as well as interest payments and forbearance requests that were in here, and their various status, the creation date, the amounts of the Ed Award, as well as the amounts of the interest forbearance payments, and each of the separate requests that I made to all of the different institutions, including my school, as well as my loan holders. So all of this information is there, it's present for you. I just wanted everyone to get a chance to see it, become familiar with this page. You use it a lot in using your Ed Award. All right, so I mentioned this briefly a second ago, and you saw it when we went to my AmeriCorps page. Forbearance and interest accrual payments. What are those? Let's talk about them so everybody's on the same page here. So forbearance, in most cases during your AmeriCorps service, AmeriCorps members can postpone their loan payments for up to 12 months. That's what forbearance refers to. So during your service, you shouldn't have to pay your loans at all during that time. That said, private loans don't apply, and there are a few other exceptions, so you do have to go through the requests in the MyAmeriCorps portal to make sure that goes through and you are free of payments during your service. Now, even if you're not making payments, those loans are accruing interest over the course of your service. But once you complete the term of service, so upon graduation from Public Allies, and you receive your Ed Award, the National Service Trust will pay all or a portion of the interest that is accrued. So for me, I was able to get all of the interest paid for, and that was a nice benefit to not have to make all of those payments and then have that interest paid for as well. And it's important to note that those payments for the interest are made in addition to your Ed Award. They're not subtracted from your award balance. So that's actually a way to boost the balance right away, or boost kind of the value of your Ed Award right away. And again, each of these are formal documented requests originating in the MyAmeriCorps portal. All right, so here's the kind of annoying news about Ed Awards. Much like living allowances, all Ed Award payments are considered taxable income. Yes, unfortunately, and so are the interest award payments on your behalf. Those are also taxable. This has implications for how we use our Ed Award, and that's one of the main pieces of advice I'm giving you from my own personal experience of using this. So if they're taxable income, the implications are think twice before using the Ed Award all at once. If you do, you're going to have a big tax payment, or at least a reduction in your tax refund come April of that year that you used the Ed Award. So just going to go through the details of my Ed Award and how I used it. I took out eligible loans for school from 1999 to 2004. And then I served from 05, 06, and 06, 07, 2 AmeriCorps terms. I completed forbearance requests during those terms, and so all of my loan payments were deferred. And then I also had the same thing, a forbearance request during my 2+ years of Peace Corps. So for 4 years total, I didn't make any payments on my loans. And I also did the paperwork to make sure that AmeriCorps paid the interest accrued during my service terms. So once my national service was all done after those 4+ years, I used my 2 Ed Awards to make the monthly loan payments over the next few years before my Ed Awards expired. So the next kind of 3 years, 7 years in total before those Ed Awards expired. All in all, that meant that I made no loan payments out of pocket for 7 years after college. For me, that was huge, and because I had this reliable source of payment from the National Service Trust, I ended up having a pretty great credit score. Despite missing, a payment here or there, it ultimately really benefited my credit long term. That still kind of has stayed with me now, continuing on those kind of habits. Okay, so in this could also be titled "In Defense of Paperwork." I hate kind of going through and keeping all those files. It can be frustrating personally, but it's important in my experience. Don't leave money on the table. There's opportunity here for your Ed Award to be even more valuable, and a percentage of AmeriCorps alums every year don't use their Ed Award at all. So make sure to not leave money on the table. Like I said before, there's no auto pay. You have to make requests for each payment separately, and it can be easy to miss payments if you're not on top of it. So make sure to put in the work to make the systems work for you. I want to be transparent and honest. For me, it was a hassle. There was a lot of time on the phone. There was documentation and occasional missed payments that were ultimately my fault. It would be great, again, if this were super easy and you could just do it on a phone app, but that's not the case for right now. So fingers crossed something changes in the future. But in the meantime, do your due diligence. Make sure that you are not leaving money on the table that could be used towards your pathway and your educational financial needs. Okay, next I want to talk a little bit about the Education Award Matching Program. And this is the last thing we're talking about today, so we're closing after this. The matching program has around 200 schools that currently provide funds to match students' education awards, those who've already earned Ed Awards. Now, there's a wide variety in kind of the value of the contribution of the different institutions that may be contributing a match. So just wanted to give you kind of 3 examples on the spectrum. So the first one here is Illinois State University, the Stevenson Center for Community and Economic Development. So just as an example, this is like on the high end. They offer for their 2-year graduate program 100% tuition waiver worth up to $30,000 for that 2-year graduate program. On top of that, they offer an assistantship in their first year, as well as a stipend during an 11-month professional practice internship for their second year. So that's kind of the high end, where you could basically get a full ride if you get accepted with their Ed Award match program. Now, somewhere in the middle is the University of Chicago Harris School of Public Policy. They do a full match of the Ed Award. So if you, again, in 17-18, you earned about $6,000 for your Ed Award, this is double its value by getting into that program and getting the match. And then on the lower end, it's still valuable, still worthwhile, but the University of Baltimore College of Public Affairs offers a $1,000 merit award to up to 5 students. This is the minimum amount a school can offer for it to be listed as a matching institution within this program. So make sure you do the research to see if you can't get extra money at the schools that you're applying to, and maybe even get a free ride. Just going to take a quick look so y'all see how these institutions are organized. You can do it by name to see if a school you're already interested in has a match program, or just kind of look if you haven't applied to places and see what states you might be willing to go to. If you have some, specific interests like aviation, there's one for Aviation Institute of Maintenance, as well as University of Arizona and lots of other higher ed institutions here, grouped by state and by name. Okay. So in summary, that's pretty much the end of what we're talking about. So just to summarize, use nationalservice.gov for the detailed guidance on using your Ed Awards. Make sure you understand your circumstances and situations, because they might not be the same as your friends, people you served with, just based on your individual circumstances. Then use myamericorps.gov for student loan forbearance, interest forgiveness, and Ed Award payments. While you're doing that, be careful using your Ed Award all at once, as it will impact your taxes every year that you make a payment from it. And make sure you research the Ed Award match institutions to increase the value of your Ed Award. So this has been our training today on using your Ed Award. Thank you for your time. Hit us up at Public Allies on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And once you graduate, make sure to join our #PA-alum LinkedIn page for future leadership opportunities on your pathway. All right, thanks y'all. My name is Javier again. Good talking to you, and hopefully see you in the social media space once you graduate. Thanks all.